Steve Gamache with a Chef Knives to Go quick look product video on the Minamoto Nashiji Blue No. 2 Nakiri 165mm knife. This line of knives has a core steel of Aogami Blue Paper No. 2 carbon steel at a heat treat of about 61 Rockwell. And the construction on these is a stainless, kind of a hammered Nashiji or pear finish cladding, and it's a stainless cladding over the top of that core steel, so only the core steel at the edge is reactive. And it's a really interesting pattern on it. It's got a nice kind of sandblasted, hammered Nashiji type finish on it with a shiny blade road going down to the core steel at the edge. So it's a really nice looking knife. You've got a pinned on style bolster, metal bolster on the knife. The weight on the knife is 6.2 ounces, 175 grams. And the blade length is right about 165, and the overall length about 11.5 inches. The spine, these are pretty thin knives overall, but with a bit of heft to them at the same time, is 1.9, a little under 2 millimeters, and we pretty much just hold that all the way through to the end of the knife. The height on this particular blade is 42.4 millimeters, so not a particularly tall Nakiri, and about halfway up the blade, I've been measuring these 2 points, so 42.4 millimeter here, and about halfway up, 43.6. So a lot of Nakiris get a little taller as they go down the knife. And the handle on these is a little different. It does garner some comments on the forums from people that have been using them, but it's a semi full tang. It comes into here and then stops there, and then you've got wood back in here. That does help lighten up the handle a little bit. This does have a kind of a bevel on the handle towards the back, and the handle itself is fairly thin. In combination with that, some people with bigger hands have commented they're not super crazy about the handle, but as long as you're not cranking way back on the handle, that you won't be hitting this too much. But it's not a super substantial handle. In this particular knife, I think it fits the blade really well because the blade's not super tall in the first place. The handle's made out of black packawood, so it's pretty bulletproof. Real nice fit and finish on this knife all the way around. Here's the profile on the knife. Pretty flat. It's really flat. Good classic Nakiri profile. It's pretty thin at the edge as well. This thing performs quite nicely. Come on, camera. There we go. It performs pretty well. Here's what it looks like on the cutting board. Out of the box edge, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It was pretty sharp out of the box, but needed a little tooth or bite to the edge, and a quick sharpening session would take care of that. The steel sharpens up great. Blue No. 2. It's nicely done steel. But there's your sharpening, or excuse me, your board edge, what it looks like. So fairly flat knife with a little bit of belly towards the front if you want to do a little rocking on short stuff. Balance point on this is right about there, a little behind a pinch grip, but it's a nice nimble feeling knife. So there you have a real well done knife. Nakiri, if you're not into real tall knives, so they're the Minamoto Nashiji, Blue No. 2 Nakiri 165mm knife.